皆さん、ここは真剣ジャーでいきましょう。
Let's talk about the episode with Abaranger in the title. Let's talk about the most memorable part of the episode. Let's talk about Zangief. The monster was obviously an homage to Zyuranger's Dora Cyclops, and not taken from some random bin from Sun Vulcan or Five Man or Masked Man costumes, and especially not Kamen Rider Black RX. There was a lot of work put into the costume. I imagine a suit actor feeling uncomfortable in a Dark Crystal Gartham-like costume. Nothing is, of course, more inspiring than finding out the name of the monster of the episode and remembering it. I am, of course, lying, and I have no idea what the name or abilities or anything of the monster of this episode was about. This was a Sixth Ranger episode, and it was all about Ikari Guy Gokai Silver. I must admit, I'm very disappointed with this episode. It's the 35th anniversary of Super Sentai. Not to mention that it's the Sixth Ranger arc for a 35th anniversary of Super Sentai. After the interesting character arcs for Berazorg and Bosco, here we go swimming in a narrow, shallow, unfulfilling pond that is known as Gokai Silver. Nothing's really hyping us up. We're just supposed to laugh at the jokes that aren't that funny. Instead of hyping Gokai Silver to be the best Sixth Ranger ever, the best choice for the 35th anniversary of Super Sentai, all they do is go for a run-of-the-mill, are we really going to choose him to be the Sixth Ranger plot. They don't really give us any credibility that Ikari Guy isn't going to be chosen to be the Sixth Gokaiger. I mean, in Gokaiger Episode 2, there we had a little kid be a Gokaiger for a little moment. Why would they not choose Gokai Silver to become Gokaiger? Because of Zangief? There we had a little kid fight Zangief all by himself. In the episode previous to this, they already proved that Ikari Guy wanted to fight Zangief anyway and become a hero. Why would they not have Ikari Guy become a Gokaiger? They've had two 24-minute episodes to introduce why Gokai Silver is the most integral part of the team. The fact that he's a fanboy, the fact that he knows all about Super Sentai, the fact that he can actually identify the teams and such, the fact that he's an asset to the team compared to these aliens who don't know anything about Super Sentai and its powers. It doesn't have to be historical, it just has to be good. A part of history. The Sixth Ranger is supposed to be the classic tale, an origin, a memorable character, a reinvention of the genre. Not a Dino Thunder homage to a sushi chef, meant for comedy. Speaking about Dino Thunder homage, the episode sort of reminds me of the episode Fighting Spirit, where Tommy gets his new powers from a dream. However, in Super Sentai, there's always something supernatural giving the Senshi powers. And in this case, you're getting the powers from someone else instead of badly explained incarnations of another ranger. On a side note, without explaining Abaranger's character flaws, he wasn't even a sixth Senshi. Not in the traditional Super Sentai sense, at least. However, the true nightmare is parenthood in Japan. Why would a little girl go across the street without looking for a flower? It's not even a tree of gold or a large mecha or something. It's just a flower. A flower she could have seen in a previous shot. Then, not only does the child not fully cross the street, but also stops right in the middle of the street so she can get hit by that truck. Not to mention that the parent lets go of the child's hand while she's walking towards the flower. What's going on here, Japan? You have monsters and ghosts and spirits and zombies and all these other things going on in your country? But worse off, you can't tell your children to look both sides of the street before they cross. No wonder there's 35 teams of Super Sentai. Triple zoom in. Oh my god. What will hopefully be interesting to see in the future of Gokaiger will be the dissension of Damaras from Toil's Guild. What this episode lacks in for character arcs and story, it makes up in action scenes. However, there's a lesson to be learned from Dark of the Moon, in that action doesn't really matter if you don't have characters to care about, or at least action you should care about. And that's all I had to say about that. For those of you who are waiting for my Blue and the Gold review, remember what I had to say about Ikari Guy and how it applies to Power Ranger Samurai.
It'll be fun to play Santa. Ho, ho, ho.
Into slime! Hey! Wow! My blade's as slippery as an eel! Man, I can't keep a hold of it. It's too slimy.
Good morning, Spike.
Good morning, Uncle Volk. Good morning, Sammy. Sammy!
Kevin would never be this late from his morning run. He's always here by 8 a.m. sharp for practice. He would have at least called. Okay, enough waiting. It's time to take action.
My truck is gone! That was my favorite toy!
Oh boy.
You're at the age where you don't get thrown by curveballs. This is the age of knowing how to get things done.
それは出てこないんです。
So, why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility.
なんだろう、俺にできることって。